Yo, what's up, family? Before we start the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and share it in everyone that you can. Just out there a little bit more. With that being said, let's get right into the video. And is Brad Stevens Jesus? Is the big question right now. Brad Stevens, the Celtics have agreed to another trade. Of course, last night they traded Drew Holiday for Anthony Simons and 2 second-round picks. Today, just about 20-30 minutes ago, we agreed into a 3-team trade with the Nets and the Hawks. We send Kristaps Porzingis to the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta Hawks send Terrence Mann and a 22nd overall pick to the Nets, who have 5 first-round picks in tomorrow's draft. And we get back George Niang, and a second-round pick. Again, round of applause to Brad Stevens, Kristaps Porzingis. Appreciate your time, brother. We will not forget that game when in the finals ever. That is etched in our brains, and we will tell our grandkids about that. Quick moment of silence for him. Appreciate you, big bro. But we get under the second apron in 2 moves. I said this in my live stream that, of course, the second apron is something that is really tough to navigate. And I say that if Brad Stevens was not my GM, I'll be nervous as shit, because some guys are going to panic. Some GMs just are not that versed at making good deals. Of course, I would want to get more for Kristaps, kind of like the Drew deal, but I knew from the jump that Kristaps' trade value was not going to be like Drew Holiday's, because Drew Holiday, even though he's older, his contract has a couple of more seasons on it. Drew Holiday comes to play every playoffs, right? When you need Drew Holiday the most, he comes in and he does his job. Kristaps, even though I've told you guys that he's our X factor, he was the guy that was supposed to be unschemable, the 7'3" guy that can take advantage of every mismatch, every person that guards him. He's either taller than, if it's a center, he's still taller than him, but he can drive past him. He's more agile. And in the playoffs, in 2 years, he's only given us 1 game. Now, we needed that 1 game. It was a very, very big moment in our time, but he's literally only given us 1 game in the playoffs. He had 2 really bad series this year. He had a mystery illness that I believe contributed to him being that bad. But we got the G-Wagon, man. He better not. I don't want him to put on a Celtics jersey, but we'll see. But yeah, George Niang makes about $8 million, so we share 22 M's. Now we are under the second apron. We are able to aggregate contracts. We have our taxpayer mid-level now, which makes it easier to sign a guy like Luke Cornett and just do other things around the roster. But Celtics are now under the second apron. We're a first apron team. We saved about $180 million in tax penalties with Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday trades. Yeah, so the roster now, right? We got under the second apron. 2 guys that we had a good sense were going to get traded have been traded, and now we have to focus on building the ancillary pieces around Tatum and Brown. I'm assuming that Brown's going to stay. We have to figure out how to get those guys to contention level again. So we add Kristaps, we add Drew Holiday, we add Derek White. Well, we see the ascension of a Derek White. That is a championship like core as far as the role players next to Tatum and Brown. Now we just have Derek White and Anthony Simons, right? And a Pritchard, right? So we do get worse as a team, but financially in the future, our flexibility, and well, with the Kristaps trade in the near future, like, we got so much more flexibility. So we don't know if Luke Cornett's coming back. We don't know what's going on with Al Horford. Hopefully he comes back. We need center, and with the draft tomorrow, 28 and 32 are our picks for right now. We're probably gonna really need a center. So a guy like Maxime Reynaud, Brian Kalkbrenner, Yannick Niederhauser, these are 3 guys that we could potentially pick. But also getting under the second apron, it allows us to have more trade avenues to possibly trade for another center. So I just love this deal by Brad Stevens, and I've said this all off season, like, because I knew where the value of Kristaps Porzingis was at. People were like mocking a Kongu to us in pick 13. Like, that's not where his value was. Now, if this was the Kristaps from the regular season and he carried that over to the playoffs, that's something different, right? But the Hawks did a nice job of buying low on him. They only had to give up George Niang. Pick 22 is something of value, of course, but they get a guy they bull low on. If it doesn't work, they just move on from after the season. It was always gonna be somebody on a lesser contract that's worse than KP just to share that bread. If it wasn't gonna be that deal, they were probably going to wait for the season to get near the trade deadline and see if Kristaps can play his value right back up so we can get some more assets. But hey, man, Drew Holiday and Kristaps are both gone in the span of 2 days, and now we can focus our attention on player acquisition around Tatum Brown. So whether that's trading, again, we got the draft coming up tomorrow. The Celtics have been rumored to go up in the draft or go down. And yes, something quick about the draft. The Celtics pre-draft workout list is something that they have held true to the last 2 seasons. So last year they worked out Baylor Shyman, they worked out Anton Watson, they worked out Jalen House, who was on our summer league team. They worked out Tristan Inaruna, who was also on our summer league team. The previous year, we worked out Jordan Walsh. We drafted him in the 2nd round, and we worked out Drew Pearson, who was on a 2-way deal. Well, who was on a 2-way deal. If we're going off the past 2 years, our pre-draft workout list is something that we can, as fans, look to and probably try to see who we're going to draft. The thing with our workout list this year is that they're all guys that aren't slated to be around 28 or 32. So we have a guy like Cedric Coward up there who is projected to go near the lottery. So that's what kind of makes us think that Brad might be trying to trade up for Coward, because he's not falling to 28. Then we have guys like Janai Broom. We have guys like Chaz Lanier. We have Jackson Robinson. We have guys that are 2nd round type guys, but I probably wouldn't pick them as high as 32. That's the trade down aspect. So we got a lot of moves. Like, we got a lot of things that can still happen. Keith Smith tweeted that there are way more things to come with capitalization on the word way. So Celtics are nowhere near done, but Brad Stevens does a phenomenal job getting it under the 2nd apron in 2 trades and just doing his job, man. So please leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, but please leave a comment. I want to hear what you guys think of the trade. And yeah, I'll see you guys a lot more, man. We got more trades coming. The draft tomorrow, so y'all definitely will see me tomorrow. We're gonna be hopping on some podcasts. We're gonna be talking. So appreciate y'all. Oh, y'all better took your shoes off before you came in here. Peace.